It's June 12th, JLD here, and welcome to MSTR today. In this show, we talk about MSTR's $8.4 billion gain year to date. We also talk about the 4TM, what that means exactly. Saylor declares war on Chanos. Pretty awesome stuff. Also, MSTR short interest is at an all time high. Could a short squeeze be coming? I also have some epic video clips from Michael Saylor you're not going to want to miss. This video is not financial advice. Please do comment below. We're slipping a little bit on that all-time high, but we're trying. So we'll do what we can here as we keep trudging through this week, making things happen. And let's dive on in. Today's first post is from Michael Saylor, who wants us to upgrade our life. And what's one way you upgrade your life? Well, it's the people you surround yourself with, because you are that average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So upgrade your average, upgrade your life. MSTR has generated a Bitcoin gain of 76,663 Bitcoin year to date. That's worth 8.4 billion. Of course, that was at the Bitcoin price of 109,600 when Michael Saylor posted this. But as you can see on the strategy website, this is constantly updating. You can always know exactly where we're at. Thank you, Strategy, for this transparency. Jeff wants us to know that Strategy is going to be the most valuable company in the world because they hold the most value. It's that simple. Boom. Chris says, so my Strategy Ultimate investment thesis has now been picked up by Yahoo Finance. We're slowly winning them over, folks. Nothing stops this train. And I'm pretty excited and proud about this because I actually got a little head nod from Yahoo that they discovered Chris from my interview with him. And that led them to discover his thesis and now post this. So, really cool that people over at Yahoo are watching shows like this. I really appreciate the kind words you guys shared, Yahoo Finance. I hope you keep covering stuff like this because this is the most interesting story in finance, Yahoo. Adrian says, MSTR, strike, strife, strive. I refer to this as 3TM, and soon this will be known as the quadruple ATM, aka the 4TM. The ATM bears will be in shambles, and they so will be. You can see here's the MSTR. This is the ATM, the yellow. This dominated, most of 2024, most of March and April and into May. And then as we enter June, it's all strike and strife, baby. It has been all strike and strife. Of course, I expect the MSTR ATM to come back, for sure, especially when the conditions are very favorable. But for right now, looks like Michael Saylor and the strategy team are having fun with strike and strife and soon to be stride. Let's go. Matt says, Saylor just declared war on Jim Chanos. Saylor has been very liberal in his issuing of MSTR common stock over the last 8 months. He has been very successful in doing so and has created tremendous shareholder value. However, the market has been decreasing the vol premium on MSTR, and he has taken notice. Over the last 2 weeks, he has paused the ATM and is focused on giga ramping the preferred stock issuance. This morning on Bloomberg, he basically declared financial war on Jim Chanos. I wouldn't fade this. And by the way, this 20-minute clip is unbelievable. I highly recommend it. The link will be in the show notes below. Michael Saylor says, Stride begins trading on NASDAQ today. That was yesterday. It's the third in our series of Bitcoin-backed preferred stocks designed for fixed income, secured by Bitcoin, and issued by Strategy. Congratulations, Michael Saylor. Love it. The Bitcoin therapist posted this little tweet or post from Luke. MicroStrategy short interest just hit a new all-time high. A huge short squeeze is coming. As you can see, the short interest went boop, highest ever right there. Very exciting times if you are bullish MSTR. Dan says, Stride plus MSTR. I'm not so much bullish on Stride as I am bullish on the implications of Stride for MSTR. I expect there will be demand for a high-yield junk bond so long as Strategy continues to honor the quarterly dividend payments. It's in Strategy's best interest to do so. Why then the non-cumulative clause, which essentially gives Strategy the option to miss a dividend payment at their discretion? See the exact wording in the prospectus below. The non-cumulative dividend clause, coupled with the positioning in the capital stack, means that Strategy can exceed their 25% debt ratio with Stride and Stride only without jeopardizing the creditworthiness of the converts Strike and Strife, because it's all about the crown jewel, which is Strife, which has a $3 billion inflow. cap, I should say, at this time. Strike is capped at 22 billion, and right now Stri was coming in at a 0.25 billion. It actually now is over a billion already, so this needs to be updated. And of course, MSTR 130 billion and Bitcoin's at 61 billion. This is the amount of Bitcoin that MSTR currently holds. Simply because Stride sits below the other preferred holders, all Bitcoin capital raised with Stride adds creditworthiness to senior debt instruments, which are higher in the period. You can kind of go through and read some more things about what Dan was saying in reference to this, but it's why it makes me very excited to hold Strife, because I got in at a good price. So I'm getting over a 10% yield, and I will for as long as I hold, because you buy in at $10 per share, and that's locked in. And so as Stride grows, it's going to push the price, in my opinion, of Strife higher to 110, 120, 150, potentially 180 at some point in the future, especially if they become investment grade. And all the while, I'll be getting 10% yields or high. Like right now, I'm at an effective yield of like 10.1%. The effective yield, if you bought today, is 9.6, and that's probably going to be shrinking over time for people that buy at a later date. So you lock in the yield right now with what today's yield is when you buy your $10 per share. We have Kern Basher, maybe it's CERN Basher, strategy tracking the fiat money vacuum. So far this year, strategy has raised about 14 billion in new capital. And this is, I thought, just a really interesting chart that just shows everything of like the MSTR stock, as you can see. Did a lot of ATM here. And then Strike was launched. And so the Strike was the major ATM. Then they did do a convertible bond right here on 224. Then they took a break. And then Strife came in and they did a big raise there. And then you can see Strike was starting to pick up a little bit. It's getting a little more green. And then now it's all about Strike and Strife here. And then boom, Stride's going to come in with $1 billion and gets really exciting. So cool chart there. Thanks for sharing. And then Chris says strategy is the gold standard of Bitcoin treasury companies. And I just have to agree because it's true. Now I have some great video clips of Michael Saylor, and let's dive in.
6 months have been tremendous. All of the fundamental planets have aligned. Bitcoin's been acknowledged as the one digital commodity in the world by the administration. The banking regulators have given a green light to bank Bitcoin. The accountants have upgraded the accounting to fair value accounting. There's been a surge of Bitcoin treasury companies. There's like 100 public companies or more that are holding Bitcoin on their balance sheet, and every single week there's another announcement. I think that, it used to be we're focused on the halvings, but at this point, the entire natural supply of Bitcoin is only 450 Bitcoin available for sale every day. That's sort of about $45, $50 million a day at this level. That is all being consumed by the Bitcoin treasury companies, and the Bitcoin ETFs are coming on strong. So I'm very bullish. My forecast in July of last year in Nashville was Bitcoin's going to appreciate 29% a year on average for the next 21 years. And that moves it from, it was about mid 60, 65,000 to 13 million a coin in the year 2045. I'm getting more bullish on that forecast, but I'm certainly comfortable forecasting 30% a year ARR on average for the next 20 years. I think Bitcoin's up 57% a year for the past 4.5 years. Again, that's double the Mag 7. That's quadruple the S&P. That's 8 times real estate, and bonds are down 4%. So Bitcoin is smashing everything, Joe.
Let's be real. If you've ever tried to invest, especially as a beginner, you've probably asked yourself, how do I even find good stocks? What should I buy or sell right now? And seriously, what the hell is going on with the market today? I ask myself those same questions all the time. And that's exactly why I started using Investing Pro, the powerful new platform from investing.com that helps you make smarter investing decisions without drowning in information overload. One of my favorite features, Warren AI. It's like ChatGPT on the stock market, but with real-time data-backed answers straight from investing.com's massive financial database. Want to know why NVIDIA dropped yesterday, or why now is a good time to buy Tesla? Just ask. Warren AI gives you instant, up-to-date insights you can actually act on. I recently asked it where to invest $10,000 right now, and the list of stocks that returned, fire, full of actionable ideas I hadn't even considered. Bottom line, if you want to invest smarter, faster, and with more confidence, Investing Pro with Warren AI is a game changer. Check it out now at investing-referral.com/MSTR. Online shopping has never been easier, but this ease is new enough that we remember a time when entering all our credit card info every time we purchased something online was the norm. Luckily, we don't have to do that anymore thanks to Shopify. That's right, that purple Shop Pay button that makes it seamless to purchase online is powered by Shopify. And Shopify doesn't just make it easy to buy, it makes it incredibly easy to start a business no matter your experience. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the US, and they make it super easy to get up and running with beautiful, ready-to-go templates and built-in marketing and email tools. Worried about tracking inventory, payments, and analytics? No stress. Shopify helps you manage it all from a single dashboard. And back to that iconic purple Shop Pay button, it's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/MSTR. Go to shopify.com/MSTR, shopify.com/MSTR.
Here's the professional experience. I worked 2,500, 3,000 hours a year with 2,000 people doing 100,000 things right. I tried everything under the sun. We had a $500 million enterprise software business, and we found that we were the winner. 99 out of 100 of our competitors, or 99 other competitors had gone bankrupt or left the industry. We were the winner, and we were competing against Microsoft. And Microsoft is Microsoft. Mm-hmm. And so we were the pure play, call it the David against the Goliaths. And so for the next decade, I spent huge amounts of money on development. It didn't work. I spent huge amounts of money on marketing. It didn't work. I rebuilt every information system in the company. It didn't work. I obsessed over systems for HR, obsessed over systems for sales, for marketing. I spent huge amounts of money on digital advertising, everything you can imagine. I would fly around the world. I flew around the world for a month, and I talked in every city, everywhere, in order to get the message out. So I had tried every conventional thing imaginable, and 10 years later, the company was still about a $500 million company. We were like a very low growth, and we were banging our head against a company, Microsoft, which is you could more easily leave the United States than you could leave the domain of Microsoft. They're just everywhere. So my professional experience is, I figured I'm not a stupid guy. I worked very hard. I had brilliant people working with me. We tried everything imaginable, but we could not dent, the digital monopolies of the world. And we were this, I'll call us a zombie company. It's a publicly traded company that makes money, that won't go out of business, that's uninteresting because it's not growing 20% or 30% a year. It's not Google. It's not Facebook. It's not a monster. But there are 10,000 companies like ours.
Right.
Most companies are like ours.
Sure.
And there you have it, another episode of MSTR today. And here's my receipt from yesterday. I did a buy of MSTR, a 0.542 share purchase at $389. That was a $210 purchase, as I do every single trading day of 2025. Watch out this coming Sunday for my updated DCA portfolio. And let's move on over to HODL the Line. We are a mere 18 days away from the close of Q2 at 7 p.m. Eastern on June 30th. So we now have a little less of a buffer than yesterday. Bitcoin is grinding lower. It's currently at about 107 when I'm recording this video on June 12th at 7:50 a.m. Eastern time. Still a nice little buffer from the 97K, but again, we want to be going in the other direction. We want to have me creating a different graphic with larger and higher numbers here. I want to be creating a graphic with a 112, 115, heck, even a 120. Why not? So that'll be a goal for us going forward here. But until then, Let's hodl the line so that MSTR can qualify for its inclusion in the S&P 500 at some point later this year. Remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So thank you for spending 15 minutes of your day with me today. I don't take it for granted. I only follow 22 people on X right now because I am so focused on my 5, the 5 people I spend the most time with on a day-to-day basis, because I believe the MSTR thesis. I believe in Michael Saylor and Fong Lee in the strategy team. I believe that it is inevitable, this path that we're on, and that's inevitable with a capital Bitcoin B. So let's just keep marching forward in the right direction. So many great things are happening. So many great things are on the horizon. And as Michael Saylor loves to say, there is no second best.
What's the second best? There is no second best.